Goofballs, a football podcast where every week we get together, we talk seriously about football, and we goof around about everything else. Let's keep the exceptions to the side this week, just like, a coach or a player who's not on the field would be to the side. Andrew, who are a couple other people on the sides of a football game?
Without pandemic, you got your beer, the beer person,
You're going into the stands.
Yeah. And way above that, you got the blimp driver.
Wow, you're going way out to the side, the blimp driver. Well, this week was an exception because I went hot to Andrew, and you wrote it well. Okay, you wrote it just like a Trojan commander on a horse. I don't know. I'm trying to think of something. Mikey says yes. That's good.
A blimp driver. You wrote it like a blimp driver.
That is my favorite Kesha song. I don't know. You wrote it like a blimp driver. Pretty good. Okay, great.
Bouncing.
Let's go over to Johnny Schwartzbein again. I do this every week, I feel like, as I talk to Johnny. And so let's do that. And Johnny, I feel like the Eagles must have been on a bye this week because I don't remember them losing. How'd that go?
They were on a bye, and they're still in first place in the division, the historically memorable NFC East this year.
What's your confidence level at based on what you saw this weekend? Where's your confidence at? Do you feel better?
1,000% confident.
Now
the Giants almost gave it up to a team that is equally as bad as them towards the end. And the Cowboys, I texted my brother and some friends that are Eagles fans. Watching them lose the way they did, playing the way they did, was just delicious. It's the only word I can think of. It's just to watch them just lose, but also like have a chance to win. But everyone knew they were losing. It was delicious.
Let me just update our guest here, and I'm going to name him. I'm going to say Mikey Stephens, but we're going to go to him more formally here in a moment, Mikey. But just to update you on the NFC East, just in case you hadn't checked lately, the New York Giants, they're 2-7. Their 2 wins, both of them came over the Washington football team. And if you didn't know, there's a Washington football team. The Washington football team is 2-7. Their 2 wins, one against the Philadelphia Eagles and the other against the Dallas Cowboys. So neither of these teams has beaten a team outside of their division.
We're just calling them the Washington football team. I like that. I like that. Yeah, okay.
It might stick as well.
Yeah, I like that.
The Dallas Cowboys are 2-7. They do have one win outside of the division, which was a 40-39 miracle against the Atlanta Falcons, who are 3-6 now, and a win over the Giants by 3 points. Now, these teams are all of one win behind the NFC East division leader, which is the Philadelphia Eagles at 3-4-1. And right now they would be the 4 seed in the playoffs. They have wins over the Giants and the Cowboys and a win over the 49ers, who also have a losing record. So
barely. They're 4-5.
Barely losing record. That is true. But they don't have a win in that division outside for a team with a winning record. And now everybody is caught up because I just like to talk about that. And speaking of the Giants at 2-7, Daniel Jones has 2 wins now this season. I believe he has 23 turnovers in 21 games. Andrew Grace, the Attorney General, would the Attorney General like to make any civil declarations about what to do with Daniel Jones?
Yeah, the kid's got heart. He's he never takes the foot off the gas. I think they should probably get rid of him, but he it's fun to watch for now. Just keep at it, Danny. You never know how it's going to play out. So study your playbook, watch your film, and
What film do you think Daniel Jones watches?
I don't know.
He just keeps watching the video for "Drop It Like It's Hot."
Did you think that you might have an advantage here over Johnny, who does like to boast about the Eagles being in first place, but
I don't like to. I love to.
But the downside here for the winner of the division is you could go from picking in the top 5 to picking outside of the top 20. Just for that one little, I guess, boastful opportunity to say that you won the worst division and then immediately lost in the playoffs. So do you feel any better maybe if the Giants just lose the rest of the games?
No, I don't. I think the Giants need to start winning. I'm done with the whole let's lose and see, maybe we'll get a good pick in the draft. It's football's a dangerous game, and once the front office starts saying we're not going to put in the effort to win, we're not going to get the right personnel, people, it's not fair to ask people to go out and give their all, and if the goal is not even to win. So I think they should do their best and finish the season strong.
Yeah, it's I do think that there are benefits here to playing well that I think people do lose sight of. The Seattle Seahawks in 2010, they won the division at 7-9, and they could have had a top 10 draft pick, and many people wanted them. Many fans wanted the Seahawks to lose in 2010 in their final game of the season against the Rams, and the winner of that game was the one that was going to go to the playoffs, and they wanted them to lose. But then the Seahawks went to the playoffs. We're going to get the worst draft pick, but then they played the Saints in the wild card round, and this beastquake moment happened that basically changed the entire momentum and direction of the franchise.
Yeah.
And 2 years later, they were the best. 3 years later, they won the Super Bowl. So
that was a crazy moment with that run. That was that run was it was like a Barry Bonds home run type. When he broke the record. I don't know if it's a good comparison.
Yeah,
but
it is.
When Barry Bonds broke the record, I was pumped. Then it was pretty crazy.
Unarguably, top 75 runs of all time, NFL.
Yeah,
maybe even the top 100.
You can't argue. You can't argue that.
Everything is arguable, but I think that
maybe 74 better ones.
That's what I think. That I always had a problem with the word arguably, or not always. I liked it, and then all of a sudden I read somewhere that they were like, "Oh, this word sucks because anything is arguable."
No, it's not.
Arguably, it is. But and the other thing is that a more recent example, the Dolphins were 0-7 last season. People were calling them as bad as the Jets are now. And then they kind of won more of their games as they went on in the year. They only got the 6th pick instead of the 1st pick, but they still got Tua. And here they are looking like a team that I think is going to win the AFC East. We should do our lock-it-ins, actually. Before we get to our guest, Mikey Stephens, who is a Seahawks fan. Mikey, quickly, memories of Beastquake?
Yeah, I was watching that game, and I missed the guy. He was great. He dude. He had a really funny show on some network too. What was it?
Which
True
guy?
TV?
I'm forgetting. No, Marshall Lynch had his own show. He had his own comedy prank.
A comedy prank show.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember seeing something. There was something in the sandwich shop. Some prank he did in the sandwich shop.
Yeah.
Which guy was this?
Marshawn Lynch.
Oh, Marshawn Lynch. Oh, yeah. That guy. That's who I thought Mikey was talking about the whole time, and then all of a sudden he became a guy in a prank show, and I was lost for a second.
He's also in season 3 of Westworld.
That's true. I didn't see
Spoilers.
Spoilers that Westworld wins the Super Bowl in season 3.
When season 3 of Westworld happened in retired running back land? What is the?
Yeah,
It happens. Season 3 of Westworld is in CTE world. They went from Westworld to Samurai World to CTE world.
Yeah. I've never finished the season of Westworld. I just watch with people, and I'm so confused. It's a dark show.
I tried to restart Westworld recent list a year. I tried to start watching it again to try and catch up and see how it was. And it turned out that it was not watchable for me.
Oh, no.
It was not a watchable show, I felt.
I feel like it's gonna be one of those that gets worse the longer you go. I saw season 1, I was like intrigued. Season 2, I was like, all right, and I haven't had the stones to go for season 3.
They just do too many like time dashes, and I'm just like, wait, where the hell are we?
Well, like, when the hell are we, Andrew?
Yeah, when the hell are we? So annoying. It's like they overdo it, and I feel like they do it because you're trying to be like, this is like a next level show, but I'm like, it's just confusing, dude.
Hello.
Welcome back,
Yo.
Mikey Stephens.
We're gonna have to do it like this.
No, I was
Okay.
just telling them. I just telling the guys. I think Mikey's got to go to the other computer. And welcome back. Welcome back.
Thank you.
We were just talking about Westworld, so we'll make sure to keep it on topic of football. What's that, Johnny?
Oh, I was just I was gonna lock in a pick.
Oh, great. Lock it in. Every week we have locked in a winner of a place in the postseason. And most of us have picked only division winners. I have a wild card in there. And I will quickly recount your picks, Johnny. You've got the Kansas City Chiefs winning the AFC West. You've got the Eagles winning the NFC East. You've got the Titans winning the AFC South. You've got the Bills winning the AFC East. And you've got the Seahawks winning the NFC West. Who would you like to lock in?
Give me the Packers because the Bears lost again, and everyone else looks pretty crummy.
Yeah, I think I locked in the Packers in our second lock it in. So I'm feeling pretty good about that. The Chicago Bears are the only team within any contention of that. Andrew Grace, you've locked in the Kansas City Chiefs to win the AFC West, the Giants to win the NFC East, the Seahawks to win the NFC West, the Bucks to win the NFC South, the Dolphins, I like that pick, to win the AFC East. Who would you like to lock in this week?
I'm going to lock in a wild card.
Ooh.
Lock in the New Orleans Saints as a wild card.
Wow.
The Saints is a wild card. Just make sure I got that right. That's you've got the Saints as a wild card. So you're picking because you've got the Bucks, yeah. So you feel pretty good about the Saints, even though with the Saints blowing out the Bucks this week, it feels there's a good chance they're probably gonna win the division. And just to be clear with the game rules, just for everyone out there, it's got to be precise on division winner or wild card.
Yeah. I mean, now that you said that, it probably wasn't the best time for the season.
I appreciate your going with the honor system here, Andrew. I've locked in the Chiefs to win the AFC West, the Packers to win the NFC North, the Titans to win the AFC South, the Cardinals to get a wild card, which I still feel good about, even though they could win the West. I still feel good about the fact that the Seahawks and the Rams will play this week, and if the Rams win, the Seahawks go all the way down to third place, and the Rams go into first place. So the Rams could just as easily be in first, and I think that the Rams have quite a good shot to win this week. They're at home. And I picked the Steelers to win the AFC North. I will pick the Ravens to win a wild card spot in the AFC.
Scooping up all those wild cards.
That's right.
You're our wild card, Kenneth.
Well, I'll try to stay within the bounds today. Johnny, are we still doing upsets and big winners?
We can if you want. Blowouts and upsets.
Maybe we'll think about that as the episode goes on. I'm going to kick it over here to, once again, our guest, Mikey Stephens. You are a Seahawks fan.
Yes, I am.
When's the last time you've been to Seattle?
I was there not too long ago, actually. I went 2 months ago, 2 months back now.
Many
It
of
was
our
just 1 month.
listeners also
Oh,
share
boy.
a love of the Seahawks? So
During
we
the
can
you
talk
braved the
directly to them.
pandemic.
I did, Johnny. If you must know, my stepdad had a really terrible fall, and it wasn't a very fun trip, nor was it a vacation. Okay, sir? It was a responsibility to my mother.
I wasn't
who needed
judging
a
you
lot of-
for going anywhere.
No,
I mean,
no,
anyone's allowed to travel.
you were. You were, and everyone heard the judgment in your voice. And so I got to set you straight. I don't know about these two goofballs here, but I'm on the podcast. I'm going to set you straight. So, yes, I was back in Seattle because my mom was having a tough time taking care of my stepdad who had a terrible fall. And I happened to have to go back to Seattle during pandemic times.
I'm not judging. I went to Catalina for the Coughing in the Mouth Festival.
Nice.
It was good. Everyone was real wet. All the
Is that
coughs.
what you want in a coffee
All
in the
you
mouth?
want a wet cough when you go to that festival. Let me tell you. Isley Brothers played.
The plane blew my mind though, because like they're like everything is pretty strict about COVID rules, and then they were like packing us in there side by side with a full empty whatever's like not poor people. What's the like next economy?
Coach?
Is that like
Coach is poor people. Business.
Coach is poor people.
Business.
Business was fucking empty, and they wouldn't let us sit there. Completely empty. It was such bullshit. I thought
What
that was
airline
crazy.
is
JetBlue, I think.
this? Fuck JetBlue.
Oh man, I like JetBlue. That's a shame.
Yeah.
Well, as some of you know, every week I try to put a movie image representing the city of our guest behind me. Last week was Things to Do in Denver When You're Dead. Does anybody have a guess as to the movie behind me today?
Yes.
Johnny.
Fever Pitch.
Fever Pitch, starring Drew Barrymore and Jimmy Fallon.
Can I guess one more time?
You can.
Now they see it's not Jimmy Fallon. I'm going to guess Uncle Drew.
Uncle Drew, the movie about the basketball players?
Yes, the Rucker Park. Is that not it?
It's not. It's not.
The Kyrie Irving film?
Yeah, I don't see color.
Most people might go with an easy pull like Sleepless in Seattle. But having grown up in Bellevue, Washington myself here, I think I could go a little bit more of a deep cut. This movie seen films at my high school, Sammamish High School. It is starring Drew Barrymore. You're correct about that. And Chris O'Donnell of the Batman and Robin franchise. Correct.
Yeah, he's like he's a Chris O'Donnell. He's like the weird NCIS, like the weird police force I don't even know if actually exists beyond the realm of CBS. Maybe police. It's like they have like all these shows in like
Marine Doctors.
Yeah, NCIS. They have like so many of them.
Atlantis.
Yeah, I'm just like, who was NCIS?
I feel like if Marvel was hot at that time, we maybe could have got him as Captain America. I feel like we maybe dodged a bullet. I think it could have been O'Donnell as Captain America.
Vertical. There was that movie about climbing.
Vertical Horizon.
I don't think so.
No.
Anyway, Chris O'Donnell, not this movie. Mad Love is the name of the film. Where they fall in love, and Drew Barrymore is a little mad. A little kooky, I guess is the phrase. But this is Drew, but this is not Drew Barrymore. This is Mikey Stephens, Seattle Seahawks fan. You know, we were having a conversation about DK Metcalf before this started. Any thoughts you want to share with everyone out there about DK Metcalf?
I think probably maybe a lot of people are kicking themselves because I don't think a lot of people really knew about DK. Or I think he was kind of slept on, it seemed like. Nobody was really talking to him about him in the draft. I drafted him like second or third pick in my fantasy league.
That's very early for this year.
Yeah. I think I think he's gonna be a legendary cat, and he's already he's blown my expectations out of the water. I thought he was like maybe gonna have like one or two really big plays, and it just like seems like every single game he's doing the lion's share of the work for my boys. So yeah, I think he's really great. I think he's dope. I think he's got a bright future ahead of him. He's gonna be a star, that kid.
Yeah, I don't want to take anything away from Russell Wilson, but I do feel like one of the big reasons that Russell Wilson is having the season he's having and the play that he's played in the last 2 years, in addition to, I think Brian Schottenheimer is the offensive coordinator, is having DK Metcalf. He's like really, I mean, no joke. I mean, I don't know. I don't want to say things like Calvin Johnson or whatever because I don't want people to say that I'm being biased or whatever. But maybe Johnny or Andrew, if any of you guys, if you had a comparison or whatever of the way DK Metcalf plays.
He seems to, yeah. I think Calvin Johnson is the right one. He just seems so much bigger and faster than all the people that are guarding him. It's like he almost looks like like if you ever like go to like a weird gift shop, like on some truck stop, and you see like a weird chessboard, and like one of the pieces is like really wide at the top, and then really like it comes down like a V. He just looks like these giant shoulders, and then just like he just looks so big on top, and then so small comparatively on the bottom, and just so fast. He just looks like a weird chess piece.
Bear on top, gazelle on the bottom.
Ooh, a bearzell.
Bearzell.
As opposed, you know what? Maybe Tom Brady's gonna divorce his wife and go out with his sister. Bearzell.
There you go.
Giselle with a bear head. I don't know. Not bad. Imagine that, a bearzell on the catwalk. Too many animals.
Definitely that video of him running down Buda Baker. It's just so mind blowing. I mean, he really does not. I mean, the way that LeBron James looked in high school playing against high school kids is the way that DK Metcalf looks against NFL players.
Yeah. And that was that's very LeBron. That's the chase down block of the NFL right there. That's what it is.
Yeah.
He should have done one of these scoop punches and just punch the ball out the back of the end zone.
But they got 0 points. They got 0 points on the drive because they went for it on fourth down and didn't get it.
So what happens? You get 0 points when you go for it on fourth down and don't get it.
That's right. That's what I'm saying.
Truth. Speaking the truth, Kenneth.
Speaking of the Seahawks, they went for it on fourth down this week and threw an interception. So not every week.
These things happen.
I mean,
can't all have a bye week.
Pretty bad defense the Seahawks have. Pretty bad. But Jamal Adams returned to last week. Carlos Dunlap was traded for. I think they'll probably be better, but they're not going to be good this year. Not the defense. They could still win the Super Bowl because of Russell Wilson and DK Metcalf. Andrew, Seattle thoughts?
I watched that video over and over, the chase down. That was amazing. But no, I really like really like how Russell Wilson is kind of finally getting the credit he deserves. I think, the game manager title that he was kind of given, I think, was only true like in the very beginning of his career, and then once he got a hold of the offense, he's one. And honestly, it was like it took me to like it was one of these sports radio people. Talking heads on the radio. I was in the car and they were like, Colin, they were like, it was he's allowed, he kind of talks pretty, like Colin Cowherd or something.
Oh, I hate that guy. I hate that guy.
So annoying. I was just in the car and he was like,
he's from Seattle.
Yeah, it was like one of his hot takes. And Cowherd's like talking about how great Russell Wilson is. And it was like, and I was like, and I started watching, like, oh shit, this guy, and I don't like Colin Cowherd, but the crazy sports radio host, I started watching. I was like, oh, this guy really is. This story fucking sucks that I'm telling you. It's funny. He's good, you know.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. I really feel like, and when I was just talking to a Chargers writer today about Justin Herbert and why I think Justin Herbert is the next Russell Wilson. And it just has to do, and he's like, well, why is it? Because of the deep pass or whatever. And I have to say, I don't know that stuff. I'm not good with any of that stuff, but I know this. Like the way that Russell Wilson, his whole career, NC State, Wisconsin, and Seattle, his whole career, he doesn't lose by a blowout. Every game is close. Every single game, he gives you a chance to win. Every single week. Nobody counted on him. He was doubted. He had skeptics. They said he couldn't play. He wasn't highly recruited. He only had 2 scholarship offers. One of them was from Duke. Justin Herbert only had the offer from Oregon. He lived right next to Oregon. Nobody knew who he was. He wins the job as a true freshman. He plays for different head coaches, different coordinators every single week. The Ducks, he eventually takes them from nothing to the fucking Rose Bowl, and now he's with the Chargers and they're blowing it for him, but he's one of the best quarterbacks in the league. And Russell Wilson just never loses out. Even when he loses good. So I feel like that's Russell Wilson from the beginning of his career, and now he's this other entity, which is interesting too, because it's the first time, even having tracked Russell Wilson for his whole career, it's the first time you really look at him and you think okay, Dan Marino and Peyton Manning. And I think if he continues on this type of path, he's definitely in that conversation in 10 years. So it'll be interesting. We'll come back quickly here and do our segments.